Hey everyone, OTC here. We're just going to do a level 500 all fraction team run with no potions in Silver and Necropolis. The team I use, we got the Bone Golem at the top, Dragar second, and then two Vanyas. First room's pretty easy since there's nobody that can attack. Second room is can vary. We'll talk about that at the end. We'll get some extra time. And this room, the final room, is really where I struggled with until I finally figured out the number one thing you do is take every yellow no matter what. If you can starve his Vanya from yellow, you have a chance to win. The only problem is to do it, you're going to have to he's going to create a monster. His Bone Golem is going to get most likely 1,000 attack, but that's okay because your Vanya can create meat shields that can take that attack. So as you're going to watch this again, I apologize, it's kind of a long video, but you're going to see that's my main thing, is taking every single yellow available. I don't care about anything else, because if you look on the right hand side, his fourth troop takes purple yellow. The purples go into the Bone Golem and then his undead unicorn. So again, you're just going to keep taking those yellows no matter what. The other nice little thing I try and do is with Dragar, I try and drain either the Bone Golem or Vanya if I can. Now obviously the problem is that a fully traded Vanya will bless on a 4 match, and as you can see, a couple of them are already starting to get blessed on the right hand side. So if you get a chance, the reason I like to drain the Bone Golem is any purple you leave will generally go back into him, because it takes 14 to get him fully, full of mana. So like I said, here I'm just kind of going back and forth, like I said, but if you watch a lot of my choices here, I'm trying to figure out how not to leave yellow for him, even if it means taking a hit, losing a troop. You just take yellows all the time. I mean, pretty soon you're going to lose your first Bone Golem, which is going to hurt, but his Bone Golem is just going to get too much attack. I mean, it's not worth trying to, worry about. Again, this is a very grind fight. The other thing you want to do is make sure you can take 2 shots from his Vanya. The first couple attempts, I realized I could only take 2, and there's no chance. This stupid undead unicorn, if it hits him, so there's a good example. His Vanya didn't have a blessing, so I drained him. Purples go into your Bone Golem, which is okay. He takes them, he cast, and then they're gone. But his undead unicorn, I know the name is a Necrocorn, but that just sounds weird. His undead unicorn will oftentimes cast it and create 10 gems of Vanyas and give him 10 yellows, which is just really tough, because then he takes 1 or 2 and he's up. But the point though is that you want to be able to take 2 casts without having your Vanyas die, so you have to either level up your Hoard. I did use a +8 life badge here, as well as the 20% starting mana and a +4 magic, because first room or 2 just a Bone Golem, just to get some extra life on it, or armor on his cast and attack, and of course to help Vanya get some extra damage. So here's what happens a lot. This is the perfect situation where you have an empty slot, you can cast, and you have skulls on the board. He takes the skulls, kills the guy, you cast again, assuming there's no yellows to take, and there you go, you got 2 cast off, and now it's back to purple for him. You're going to go after yellow here. And again, I do pause a lot here to consider moves and just see if there's any, like here, trying to get a yellow and a purple would be really good. Just you want to make sure you're not going to leave anything. Now, obviously, stuff drops. You never can tell what's going to happen. But now here again, only the bone golem is can be drained, but there's 11 on the board. There was 11 purples on the board in that case, so draining him wasn't terrible, putting a total of 20 on the board. Like I said, if you miss, it's most likely going to go back into him, and it's nice to have both your Vanyas up. Again, good situation. You've got, if he takes the skulls, which he doesn't, he just kills you and kills both of us. But at least you can recover a little bit. This is my second favorite troop here, the Dragar guy in this on this board, because really at this point the bone golem's not going to do you any good. Well, at this point he'd die in 2 hits, but this guy can drain, so he's going to drain, create purples, and that feed your attackers on the bottom. So he's really a good troop to have here, but of course he's going to die in 1 skull hit. But that's okay. And here, looking back, I probably should have taken those purples, but again, having meat shields to protect your guys if there's no purples on the board is a good thing. And looking here, if I take this, if I take the blues, I'm thinking if I take the blues, I'm still going to give them either yellows or skulls, and I'm just trying to look at a way to get around this. Because like I said, I really don't want to take the skulls here, but it seemed to be the best move. I was just worried about any yellows. There's a lot of yellows in that area. Like I said, that's your primary concern. So here, like taking the reds would leave yellows. So you want to make sure, again, I had to take one of them though. I really had no choice. Here we're just hoping this undead unicorn doesn't put more yellows on the board, so you've got to take yellows off the board. Puts purples on, gives us a really nice board there. And then here it's like trying to figure out again, how can you take yellows not to leave yellows, because again you just want to make sure he doesn't take any. Now his Dragar, everyone's blessed, so it's again a good position to be in, because if he tries to drain anyone, it's going to be a wasted cast, and that's what you need, because you need to take more turns than he gets, than the other side gets. So cast, he kills, you're gonna cast again. I hope I did. But ideally you'd cast again, because now he's going to cast his guy and nobody can get drained. And here hopefully, because it's a unicorn, I don't like throwing the unicorn, because in this case you want to put more purples on the board. And you don't want to do it on your Vanya, because you might leave yellows. So the unicorn's really a wasted troop here. I wish I could just have it die, and it just automatically move to the front and die. At least the bone golem, I like that because you get some board control. Another thing too is knocking out those blocks, so you can get more gems on the board, which hopefully give you more mana. Right here, I'm just trying to look and see if I can drop down, move around some of the purples, or see if I can drop anything and get a match here, either purple, yellow, really anything. But there really isn't much out there. So, and like again, I'm contemplating, should I throw this? If you do have a Dragar on troop, you can throw the unicorn on him, just because you'll create brown and green, which doesn't really affect you much. See here, it's like, well, this is a tough one, because you just let him kill you almost. Again, luckily that's he had just enough to take 1 hit, but you don't take the skull hit, or do you go for the yellows? Again, take the yellows, because that last guy is going to kill you quick. So here, fortunately, as much like the bone golem, his purple does block your attackers down the bottom, so it's a little bit of a pain. As you can see here, the purple is going to drop down and give me the 3 purple I need. So took that, and then yellows, we don't need yellows. All right, now we're kind of screwed. So luckily, if you look, he left a 10 match for us. This is why you like having your bone golem. if we explode that yellow gem on the bottom of column 7, it'll drop those 2 down, make a like I said, a 5 match for us. I like to make it. There you go. See. So luckily we got rid of a lot of the yellows there. Now there's still 2 yellows on the board, no matter which way we take it. On the column 8 on the far right, on the column 1, 2. So really, I mean, I'm just trying to get rid of some of the yellows there. He got a yellow. I'm going to keep taking yellows because I don't want him to get any extra yellows. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. I can't stress this enough. That's the only way you're going to win this board without some ridiculous hoard or potions, is just taking yellows and not leaving yellows. Again, the reds might leave yellows over there. I was worried about that, so I don't want to take those. Then again, the red could have, I had 2 chances to get a yellow match if I took the reds. So it's not terrible, but if you leave a 1 at the bottom, again, you miss and he gets yellow. So I was trying to be conservative. And of course, I left him yellows there, but luckily he didn't take it. So now we've got his guys up. He could take 6 mana from the 3rd guy, a lot of mana from him, so I'd like to throw him. And we have a 4 match here. Yep, right there. So drop the 2 yellows and column 1, 2 down 2, and got the 4 match. And more importantly, got the yellows off the board for us, which is the key thing you need to do. I know I keep stressing that, but you'll see why. Like I said, we're still a little bit away from being able to really finish that side off. And here, there's just really nothing out there. And yeah, I just figured take that. Nope, you die. Take that. Got an extra skull poke in, but that doesn't really help us much. You actually want to keep the bone golem alive for the most part. And I'll tell you why, because he can start casting a different troop, and you really don't want any other troop up there. Again, the Dragar Creighton Purple that he doesn't use. Oh, and here you take this as a 4 to make sure that you get the skull hit and get the skulls off the board instead of a 10. And then, of course, obviously the Necro can create yellow for his Vanya, which would just kill you. So, again, you want to make sure try and keep that bone golem up there if you can. And now I was thinking, all right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a bunch of yellows, and I know I kind of broke my own rule here, but it's like, oh, we got a bunch of yellows on the board, a bunch of purples, nothing bad should happen. He got yellows. I'm looking around. He could probably, take the brown. You give him yellows, so it's not a good thing to do. Hopefully, he'll take and give us yellows. Might be time to just throw him. Again, just trying to look and see if there's anything that'll drop if I take the blues, but it's not going to work out. And there we got our yellows, and we're going to pick up a purple, and then he gets 4 of those, and he gets 4 of those. Whew, okay. Again, there is definitely some luck involved in this room, I'm not going to lie. Again, if he keeps throwing on Vanya, we're screwed. As you can see now, he just hit us for 138 damage on 1 cast, and that's everyone. So, you're not going to last very long. That's why I keep harping on this. Get the purple or get the yellows off the board any way you can, whether it's with your bone golem destroying them, whether it's you creating other gems by whatever means necessary. Get those off the board. And again, I'm going to create blue, like in this case I created greens and browns so he can drain. There's a lot of yellows on the board now, so you could try, one tactic would be potentially to try and drain the bone golem and put a lot of purples on the board to try and cover up some of those yellows. Again, I'm pretty close, I'm about 3 casts away, and I can take 1 hit, so, my decision making here was maybe get some of those yellows, and he left me a great 10 there. Looking around, just making sure there's nothing I'm missing. I don't know why I decided. Well, I know why I decided to take the skulls, because there was no real yellows on the board. I figured this Dragar guy can drain um, the bone golem and hopefully create more purples. And of course he just swings and misses. But the thought was there, to try and get more into the to my third troop. And again, at least when he gets drained, there's not many purples on the board for the bone golem to refill himself. So again, like a lot of purples on the board, a lot of reds. Just looking around, figuring, all right, let him make the mistake or take some purples, because that's fine. Because again, they go into the first guy, and that's okay. Not what we want. We're pretty far away from getting our troops up, so we need to take the skulls. Just again, being conservative. And again, throw it on him. Just stay away from creating purples. Let's see. So we got a bunch of stuff here. And again, since I'm not really in range to cast anytime soon, I mean, I could take those purples at the top, but I just, kind of figured better play it a little bit safe. I didn't see anything going into his troops. Again, just trying to take, and of course he drains the first guy. That was kind of a bad play. It might have been a bad play on my part. Drains the first guy, puts so many purples on the board that his Vanya gets mana. And here, this is why you use the, now granted I would have saw 1, but you really got to calculate out how much life you have. You see my 2 Vanyas have 8 left, and now I'm in, you don't want to panic here. You just want to play it smart. I was looking around here thinking, what am I going to take? And take the yellows, give him some junk he doesn't need. I was hoping that it would surge so I can refill my, meat shield, and didn't work out. He took some stuff. Again, the greens don't really help him that much, so figure, all right, we'll get ours, get the 4 here, and, again, hoping for something, and there it is, our yellows. So now here's the trick. 1 cast, it kills 3 troops. That's what you need, especially Vanya, because you start killing troops, that thing's going to start just casting away, putting up new troops. Now it's just he's a monster. He's got 1,000 attack, and he's going to give himself 100 or something ridiculous every cast, 100 armor every cast. But what you want to do is take browns, take purples. Ideally purples if you have the choice, because you can use purples. He can't. Of course, I just give him 3 browns. Skyfall, that was kind of stupid. I mean, it's nothing I could do, but take your purples. You might leave a skull hit here, but at this point, he's getting so much mana, it's just like drain him. And this is why, again, I like the Dragar here, because you drain him and fill both your Vanyas. I'm just trying to keep purples and browns away from him so he doesn't get this insane amount of mana. I mean, an insane amount of armor that I can't chip through. So that's a general, and this is going to go on for a little while. So while that's happening, I'm gonna. Oh, and the other thing too is, I'll just note too that when you get 4 extra damage for a blessed troop, so having your troops blessed always helps. So try and get 4 matches. That's why draining him helps as well. But anyway, so. Just real quick, how do we get to this point, to the 3rd room? Well, the first room is really simple. The first room in this delve attempt it's just, you got a bone golem, a couple of those undead unicorns, and Dragar guy. I mean, all they do is pass mana around. My biggest thing is try and drain the bone golem. Don't let him get too much attack, and get yours buffed so you can do a lot of attack and kill them quickly. That's it. That's all you need to do. Here I'm looking, I got 9 yellows and 15 purples. I'm like, all right, that's a pretty good time. I'm feeling pretty comfortable throwing him on the Vanyas. Again, totally missed that. And then and I pay for it. He smacked me around a little bit there. I actually had to edit this and put two different, I had to cut a couple breaks I had to take out of this just to help speed this along. And so anyway, so that's the first room. First room's pretty simple. Second rooms get tough. Really, what I like to do is use the bone golem and make sure I'm inflicting death mark on people as much as I can. You know, the rooms that really give you trouble are the undead room, where you have the wrath, and you know, his room is tough because they're all none of them use on they're all impervious to undead, or immune to undead, excuse me, and so that's tough. The rest of the rooms aren't that bad. The worm tunnel room is tough as well. I've gotten through most of the other rooms. You want to look at, and the strategy will vary depending on what you're trying to do, obviously. But if you get like the wolf pack room, if you get Fenrir at the bottom, you know, obviously you want to let him kind of just buff everyone while you're just kind of trying to build your Vanyas there and your Dragar, and just trying to get him to drain people so they don't cast and do damage to you. That's your basic technique. I think on this one I got through the dwarf room again, trying to drain. Since nobody uses purple there, you want to drain as much as you can. Taking the browns was key because Lady early with 3 times damage if her armor is greater than yours really hurts people. So you want to make sure that you take all those browns off the board. And so here we're getting kind of just, again, it's a slow process. We're kind of getting them down. And you know, don't try and rush. It's a slow fight because, again, he's going to get a lot of damage. A lot of armor into himself. Here it is, 124 armor. You're only hitting for 60 to maybe 70 on cast. You know, one nice thing is having this guy in the second position, your bone golem. If you can keep him kind of covered and cast a little bit, you can get him up to some decent damage. And that's actually how I'm going to win this fight, or this battle. Again, I'm just trying to keep all the purple and blue, brown away from him, and it's not doing a very good job. Again, taking my yellows because I can get some damage to him. And we take our skulls, which do minimal damage, but at least this guy's now got 129 attack, which is a little bit better. Again, ideally we would cast anywhere we could get a 4-match. But since we don't really have one, we'll just take that. Again, if we take it that way, trying to see if I can squeeze a 4-match out. If there was 3 blues or 3 gems in there, I could get a 4-match, but I can't. Like I said, just trying to see if there's anything I can do here other than take skulls and leave him a 4-match that wasn't planned. Trying to remember what I was thinking here. Probably not a whole lot. I mean, I can get some purples by taking those, which is what I did. And we do have a 4-match, but because of that block, I can't take it. Those greens in 4, 5, 6, 7 could all come together, but again, I can't cast on the block, which is, like I said, why you want to use that bone column early on, if you can, to get rid of some of those blocks to give you more room to operate. And again, if we run out of moves like here, if I take those browns away from him, I'll give him a skull hit, which will kill the first guy, and I still need a purple or brown, so a better idea would be blow that up and skull hit him. It's only going to do, 38 damage or something, but it's better than nothing, and it gets rid of some skulls. So again, that's just kind of the way you got to think, is deny him mana and hurt him if you can. Like I said, this guy's going to actually, our bone golem in the second position is going to get a little bit of extra attack here, and it's helpful. I mean, you're going to have over 500 armor and life total to be able to take one hit from this guy now, and it's probably not going to happen. So again, board control is going to be very important to make sure you don't he doesn't get any cheap little skull hits on you, because 1 will turn into 2, and that'll probably kill you. So again, and going this long, you want to make sure you win. You're in a good position. Just take it slow and take it careful. And like I said, I keep looking. I'm like, how can I do this? Can I get skulls out of here? Can I, just trying to leave some yellows possibly for myself. But the best thing is just blow that gem up right there and it's column 7 and break up his browns and then get that out of the way. And of course, our guy gets a Skyfall green, and he of course kills him with a Skyfall skull. So how ironic. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed there because I would have liked to drain him, and I would have liked to drain him and get some mana into my bottom 2 guys. So again, just looking here for, really need some purple. Really need any way I can get a chance to get purple or yellow, and not leave a brown. So I was thinking just taking the blue might be the best here, and of course he gets browns and takes away my yellow. Again, this is actually a little bit longer fight, and I was distracted a few times and had to leave. Here I chose to take the browns, which of course leave some purples. Take the purples for me. Let's see, we got taking some yellows here, and can't take those yellows. It'll leave a skull hit for me, so maybe he'll take them and help us out. But I'm gonna cast and try and get somebody else up. And let's see, and we get another bone golem. Well, he's gonna die anyway. Again, taking this, taking the Doom Skull is only going to drop it down 3. You got a nice Skyfall there. 3 skulls, reds into yellows. He gets more mana. More armor. And let's take some red. He gets a board shuffle, which is the last thing you ever want. I'm just looking here if there's anything. Probably should have taken that the other way, but not give him so many extra turns. Again, looking around. Don't see a whole lot. Could take those yellows. He gets browns at the top, which I just can't make this stuff up. I think I was just hoping to get both of them up at the same time. Not much here. Firing off my Vanya might be the best option. Lucky skull hit. He kills me, obviously. So we just took the yellows there to get them both up at the same time. Took the browns to get him up for board control. I know I kind of gave away. I think I just saw the potential for him to get something like that. I didn't think I'd kill him, so figured take my time and just get this guy up, get him a little more attack. Again, give me the option to destroy some skulls if I need it. And let's see, so we got a lot over here. 4 blue, 3 green into a bunch of red, which again we don't really need, but it's there. And again, here's a 4 match. The browns and 2-3 are going to drop down, make a 4 match. That's always a decent, gives us an extra turn, gets that guy a little extra attack in case I do get a chance to hit him with skulls. Obviously I know I can't, but he kills the first guy enough that you might be able to set up a skull hit to do some serious damage. Like in this case right now. Because again, even at half damage, you're still doing 112, which is pretty good. Now again, here's an interesting thing where I chose to go with the Doom Skulls because it adds 10 extra damage. Drop those down 2, and then it'll take that other skull alignment off the board too. So you see I made the bottom purple shake a little bit. And of course he gets a skull, but the great thing is he's within range and boom, he's dead. You have just beaten your level 500 no potion delve run. Good job, good luck to everyone. Leave me comments if you need them, and have a good one.